Hey everybody, Michael D'Angelo with Silence Media. So, everything I say and do is based upon my opinion, right? And the opinions of Silence Media. Meet the famous ogre. Ogre is sitting in a Housing New Zealand house, a Kianga Ora house. We've got a couple of questions to ask RNZ. RNZ put out this post that said that Kianga Ora tenants owe $14 million. Well, here's the thing. How is that possible when Kianga Ora tenants pay their rent through their benefit? Or don't you guys know this? All rents are paid through working income. So unless they've got working families, they've got working people in their houses that is meant to be social housing, that is meant to be for those people that are unemployed and with disabilities. Oh, wait a second. Remember the Labour government that stuck all those gang members in the houses? You know, those gang members that had full-time jobs? You know? But anyway, let's not go there. Let's look at this. So, the New Zealand National Coalition, yes people, the National Coalition, won't fix the problems. They won't fix the problems. It's now October, people. We've been in here since May. Is it May or April? April. We've been in here since April. And to date, no one has contacted us about Kianga Ora fixing the problem. No one has contacted us about New Zealand Health working with Kianga Ora to fix the fucking problem. So my brother is still shitting in a box that he shouldn't have to shit in. He was promised by New Zealand Health and Kianga Ora, Bailey, Giovanni, Bradley, that he would never shit in a bucket again. And then when he moved into this house, it was built for him. We have to use this rag It is a rag, people. It's not a sheet. We have to use this rag like this across here whenever he has a shower, because that is so uneven, right? It's all lumpy and all over the place, right? The water sprays up and goes all over here when he has a shower, right? That is probably the most dangerous. I mean, I sprained my steel ankle. I sprained my steel ankle standing in the shower and moving around, and didn't realize that I was about to step on a bump, and it cracked my ankle. That's how fucking dangerous that shower is. Because Housing New Zealand had a whole bunch of fucking idiots come in here, didn't know what they were doing. I mean, you can look at the distance, the cuts, and see just how cheap and nasty that is. But then you can see all the glue that goes in here. Glue. Silicone should be up in here and then put down, not out all over the place. It's all up there too. This is the cheapest motherfucking bathroom I've ever come across. But here's the thing, people. We're not worried about the cheap. We're worried about the toilet being here and the basin being there where it's meant to be. where it was planned to be. This is probably the biggest fuck up Housing New Zealand has ever done to a disabled person. By the way, there's a law with the disabled that a toilet cannot be that close to a wall. It has to be away from the wall. A law, people. We've had health and safety come here to the house from Kianga Ora, and they videotaped it, and the dude said that is not legal. So why is it that Kianga Ora gets away with it? Huh? It's not fucking legal. Yet Kianga Ora gets away with it. How the fuck do they get away with it if it's not legal? By the way, people, I just want you to see this bar. This bar is not designed for a man in a wheelchair. This bar is designed for old bastards like me that have got legs that can sit here and go like this and lift themselves up off the toilet. Lift themselves up off the toilet. Thinking about that. You got legs. It helps you boost up off the toilet. How does that help a guy in a wheelchair that's got no fucking legs? Huh? Doesn't, does it? Common sense. What kind of bullshit is that? Huh? Common sense. There's nothing common sense about this setup. This is meant to be here. Here. Out to here. This is meant to be here. This toilet is meant to be here so he can transition in. Pull up into here and get on the toilet. Wait, am I doing it right? I can see in the mirror behind me, this mirror. Alright. But no. He should be able to pull up here and get onto the toilet. But he can't pull into this gap. This gap is smaller than my fucking wheelchair. Let's go get my wheelchair. Just so some people can see some real shit. Because even my chair... This is my chair. Actually, let's do it without the comfort support. Right. So this is my wheelchair, people. It's a TI wheelchair. It's bought and paid for. I'll get the original seat because then you'll figure it out. There. Yeah. Right. Let's get my chair out there. Disabled. They say it's for disabled people. These people, that bloodstain there is mine. Yeah, bloodstain. It's what happens when you crack your legs. You crack your legs and you can't. You know, in Dean's wheelchair, he scrapes the walls when he comes down because they didn't build it right for him. Alrighty, so I'll do that again so you understand. Alrighty. Here's my wheelchair. You see what I'm hitting? You see what I'm doing? Right, that's to get on that side. My wheelchair is half the size of Dean's. Right, let's go backwards like it would be. I gotta move that bloody thing now. And I'm just trying to prove a point here, because a lot of people don't realise it. My wheelchair is not like Dean's, but let's make it so get it just over there. There. That's my wheelchair. It can't get into that position. What kind of fucking moron would do that when my wheelchair, a smaller wheelchair than most, not as big as his, but a smaller wheelchair, and it's smaller than the hospital wheelchairs, can't get into that position? What kind of fucking moron would do this? Oh, an OT that didn't measure anything. And she admitted that she didn't measure anything. This is why I get frustrated with government services that don't do their fucking jobs properly. They don't do their job properly in the first place. They want you to see all the flash and yada yada yada, but they don't do shit for the actual people. Do you know how degrading it is? My fucking brother, has to shit in a fucking bucket in a house that was so-called designed for him. Yet it wasn't designed for him at all. Here's proof. Why is there carpet in a wheelchair house? Who in their right mind puts carpet in a wheelchair house? We're not talking about a legged house. This house wasn't built for legged people. It was built for people in a wheelchair. That, unfortunately, my brother's going to be in that wheelchair for a long fucking time, because the New Zealand Health fucked up. If you can't see that big lump on the end of his nub, right there, we've asked New Zealand Health to get an x-ray on that. They won't give him one. Why? Because they know exactly what we know. There's something in there that shouldn't be in there. But then they would have to admit that they fucked up the surgery. They left something in there that needs to come out. But let's get back to the real problem. Here it is, people. If my wheelchair can't fit in there, and my wheelchair is smaller than everybody else's, and it is, if my wheelchair can't fit in there, if it fits to here, and it's got to be fitting good. So when we put the brakes on, he's going to need to stable. Well, he can't stable, can he? Because it's all uneven. Look at it. It's uneven to the fuck. He can't stable. So, you know what they said? They wanted him to be put on that in there. And that was fine. But this is not what Briar said. When he's fine when he has a shower because he can get on there. Right? But the problem is the caregiver has to move his chair out of here. Out of the bathroom. Otherwise, if it gets wet, well, it's one electrocuted boy. Right? The problem with that is, you see that control panel? Right? Briar said, oh, you can lift that up. The OT said you could lift that up and get and transition onto it, but he can't get in there. But he can lift that up and get onto the toilet.
No, I can't. It's too small.
But he can't, because as soon as he lifts this up, there's a cut-off switch in this whole thing that once it goes up here, it turns off. The chair is dead. And trust me, I have to push the chair when the chair is dead, and it's fucking hard to do. Even the caregiver, we had the caregiver come round and try it, and she can't budge him. Yet all it was that was meant to be there, and that was meant to be there. And then it's all said and done. We've got the gear, we've got the stands, we've got everything to go in place, to go into the toilet, to make sure. This, we'd have to modify to go into. What the fuck is on this? This would modify to go into there and sit there so he can shit straight down the toilet. Right.
But it's not a disabled.
But that's not designed to fit in there. I can cut that to fit in there. Right? And I will once it's over there. And here's the thing, people. We are willing to work with NZ Health and Kianga Ora. But they didn't want our opinion. They didn't want my brother seeing this house. We only saw it because we found out where it was. They didn't want him seeing it before he moved in. Yet they said it was designed for him. No measurements were taken whatsoever. I'm sorry. I'm real sorry for going off, but I've done 2 videos on this, and I sent it to Kianga Ora, and I sent it to NZ Health, and they haven't done shit. They have done nothing. They haven't even contacted us about it. So Giovanni, you asked me not to mention you. Well, I'm mentioning you, dude. Bradley, you asked that I don't mention you. Well, I'm mentioning, dude. Because you ain't doing shit to help my brother. And to RNZ. Explain how these so-called beneficiaries, because that's what you're saying, beneficiaries haven't paid. They're not beneficiaries, are they? They're not. They're those who are working with incomes. Working on their benefits. Fraudsters. Gang members. See my brother? He ain't no gangster. He's disabled. Full stop. Why the fuck won't you help him? You say you do, but then you cut his benefit. You cut his fucking benefit, you mongrels. You cut his benefit. You cut my benefit. We both have chairs. We have chairs for good fucking reason. Health reasons. The National Coalition is a bunch of fucking morons. And people, we're real. We're not some fancy-wancy wannabe fuckwits. We're real. Boots on the ground, real. Nubs on the ground. Well, Nubs in a chair.
Yeah.
It's time New Zealand got fucking real and looked at the bullshit that this government and the last government and the government before it has been pulling over your fucking eyes. They disrespect the disabled. They are trashing mental health consumers. They are trashing the people. And they don't give a fuck.